A girl has fallen to her death and it's up to her twin sister to find out why. This is ridiculous. This is Webcam Cheerleaders. I'm Jay Harangue and I've wasted hours of my life watching terrible films.
You should subscribe.
4 months on from Amelia's untimely death, we're at Vanderton University. Her twin sister Maisie is enrolling today and she's joining her sister's old cheerleading squad. This is Ella, the cheer captain.
Amelia was a great friend. Her death really affected us.
I'm Lisa, by the way.
The girl who plays Lisa is terrible, but she's definitely not the worst actor in this film. More on that later. Even though they've just met, Lisa and Maisie are best friends. Maisie gets home and here's where we meet her mum Nancy. Nancy's like, how was school? And Maisie's like, yeah, fine. It's a bit shit that Amelia's dead though, isn't it? And Nancy's like, yeah. Maisie goes into Amelia's room and opens her laptop. The wallpaper is her with 2 other girls who she doesn't recognise.
Who is that?
She's talking about the girl on the right, not the one whose head's been cropped out. Maisie keeps trying to guess Amelia's password, but she can't. Then she goes on her own laptop and looks at news articles about her dead sister.
I know you wouldn't kill yourself, Amelia. I need to figure out what happened to you.
Luckily for the audience, Maisie always thinks out loud.
Good.
The next day at school, she's like, Lisa, I don't think my sister killed herself. Do you? And she's like, yeah, she probably did. She was depressed and she had an eating disorder. Maisie's like, nah, that's bollocks.
Maybe you didn't know everything about your sister.
Maisie's like, okay, who's the girl on my sister's screensaver then?
Kiki Nels. Yeah.
Lisa's like, she was your sister's best friend. She left the cheering squad after Amelia died and nobody's seen her since. It's time to get to practice now, and here we're introduced to the athletic director, Mr. Thornton. This actor is absolutely appalling.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Ladies, I have an announcement. We've secured another sponsor. And that means we've been invited by Channel 55 to appear live on their morning talk show. Vanderton Cheer is the pride of this school. Nobody represents the Sharks better than you.
Coach Hayes is like, right, now that we're going to be on TV, we're doing 2 practices a day. Mr. Thornton wants to see Maisie in his office after practice. He's like, hi, Maisie. Bit shit about your sister, isn't it? And she's like, yeah. When she leaves his office, Ella walks in. She's like, is Maisie going to be a problem for our side business? He's like, I hope not. Have you recruited any more girls? And she's like, yeah, loads. Oh, and it turns out Ella and Mr. Thornton are banging.
My goodness.
In the changing rooms, Maisie notices that this girl, Nicole, has a load of expensive things. She asks Lisa how she can afford them, and Lisa's like, dunno, want to come over and study later? And Maisie's like, yeah, okay. That night at Lisa's house, Maisie's like, come on, Lisa, how does Nicole have all this money? And Lisa's like, well, I'm not sure, but there's a rumour going round that some of the cheerleaders are cam girls on cheerleadercamgirls.com.
Oh, dear.
Maisie's like, right, let's go on it now. And Lisa's like, no, it's disgusting. But within seconds, she's convinced her. They log in and see that none of the girls show their faces.
So that they can't be recognized. Smart.
Yeah, genius.
You don't think they're gonna take their clothes off, do you?
Hope not.
What?
I'm pretty sure they're going to be taking their clothes off, as nobody is going to pay money to watch this.
True.
Anyway, Lisa's like, that's enough webcams, let's study. On her way home, Maisie remembers that before she died, Amelia became obsessed with her appearance and had loads of nice things, so she starts thinking that maybe she was a cam girl too. When she gets home, her mum's like, shit Maisie, your dad's been done for drink driving, so I need to pick him up from the police station. When her dad gets home, he's clearly drunk, because his tyre's loose.
Well, that makes sense.
He's like, I'm not talking about this now, we'll discuss it later, and goes to bed. At school the next day, Lisa's like, guess what, Maisie? Kiki's brother Max works at the coffee shop on campus. He might be able to help you. So she goes to see him. Max only has one facial expression. It's like he's in pain and about to cry. Maisie's like, Max, I think your sister might be in trouble. So they sit down together and he's like, what's going on? Kiki went missing 4 months ago. Maisie's like, yeah, I think Kiki's a cam girl and I think my sister was too. And he's like, oh no, I can't believe this. When she gets home, Maisie logs into cheerleadercamgirls.com. But when she tries to talk to one of the girls, someone named Cheerlover comes in and kicks her off the site.
Oh no!
This is Cheerlover. He calls Mr. Thornton. He's like, that girl's sister is snooping around on our site.
Her dad got a DUI last night.
We might be able to use that. Find out where he likes to drink.
The next day at cheer practice, Mr. Thornton comes in and he's like, Maisie, I've chosen you to speak to the news anchors on Channel 55 News.
I'll do my best to represent then.
That night at this bar, Maisie's dad is drunk again and Cheerlover comes in and sits next to him. He's like, do you remember that hot cheerleader at Vanderton University who killed herself? I'd have smashed that.
What an amazing
So Maisie's dad is arrested for assault. Cheerlover calls Mr. Thornton, who's in bed with Ella, to tell him it's done.
You got the stuff we talked about?
Yeah. Apparently, it only takes a few minutes to kick in.
And then they bang. Because of all this dad in prison drama, Maisie is late to the Channel 55 show. Coach Hayes is pissed off because she thinks Maisie was out partying. And while she's bollocking her, Ella puts something in her water bottle. Drugged Maisie makes their rubbish cheer performance even worse. And when she's interviewed afterwards, she comes out with some clangers.
Hello, America.
Does anybody even watch this channel?
What the heck is going on here?
Mr. Thornton tells Coach Hayes he wants Maisie off the squad.
She made a fool out of us and was clearly on something.
But Coach Hayes is like, no, she reckons someone drugged her. And he's like, okay, she's on a warning then.
But one more misstep and she's gone.
Maisie is talking to Max about the Camgirl site. He's like, yeah, I went on last night and spoke to my sister, but when I told her it was me, I got kicked out. Maisie's like, right, they must know our IP addresses. So they decide to go to the campus computer lab and install a VPN to keep their location a secret.
Smart.
They find Kiki on there and they're like, let's meet at a hotel, $2,000 for an hour. And Kiki's like, yeah, okay. Cheerlover calls Mr. Thornton to tell him that they're about to make some serious money off Kiki.
This smells to me. I want to know our girls' every move.
That night, Maisie and Max arrive at the hotel to meet Kiki.
What are you doing here?
We want to help. I know the guys are paying you to take your clothes off.
I don't want your help. This is what I want.
To be having sex with strangers? This is what you want?
I'm trying to make a better life for myself, Max.
What a slut.
So that hasn't gone to plan. Maisie's like, right, she's obviously working for someone. We need to find out who. When Kiki leaves the hotel, Cheerlover follows her.
What do they know?
Nothing. I would never say anything.
So Kiki's dead. The next morning, Max is like, shit, Maisie, Kiki's dead. They're saying she was robbed, but Maisie and Max don't believe that and are determined to get to the bottom of this. Mr. Thornton needs to get Maisie off his trail, so gets Ella to get her suspended for plagiarism. When Maisie gets home, she tells her mum exactly what's going on. Her mum's like, keep this to yourself. Your dad's too stressed to hear about this at the moment. Mr. Thornton is round at Ella's house when he gets a call from his wife. He has to go home because his kid's sick and Ella gets angry. He's like, grow up, Ella. I can't just ignore my family. At home, Maisie still can't figure out the password to her sister's laptop, but she now wants to know who the other girl in this photo is, the one with her head cropped off.
Who is that with the rainbow necklace?
She goes to school to ask Lisa, and Lisa's like, it could be anyone, I'm staying out of this. When Maisie gets home, she finally guesses Amelia's password, and she sees photos on her laptop of Lisa wearing the rainbow necklace. She goes to see Lisa and says, right, what the fuck is going on? And Lisa's like, okay, Mr. Thornton runs the website and Ella recruits the girls. Oh yeah, and they're also shagging. Maisie's like, what? Why didn't you tell me this before? And Lisa's like, because they'd ruin my life if they found out I was talking about it. So now Maisie knows who's behind this. She tells Max and her parents. Her dad says he's going to look into Mr. Thornton's financials at work.
I'm checking into rehab.
I don't care. At Ella's house, Mr. Thornton's telling her he wants to end their affair. Good. And this hasn't gone down well with Ella. The next day, when Maisie's dad gets home from work, he tells her and her mum that he's found out that Mr. Thornton is hiding hundreds of thousands of dollars in the Cayman Islands.
Wow, that's big.
So he's reported him to the IRS. Maisie's dad has been for a haircut, and it's only now I've noticed that his forehead is the same size as the rest of his face.
It is.
Maisie then goes round to Ella's and tells her she needs to report everything to the police, and that way, maybe she can cut a deal. But she's like, oh, I don't know. Maisie quits the cheer squad, so she won't be cheering in the big game today, but she is watching with her parents.
Hey, are you ready to play? Go Sharks!
I'm so glad all those extra practices have paid off. Somehow it's been arranged that Mr. Thornton is arrested during his pre-game announcement.
Rob Thornton.
Or
You're under arrest.
I want to call my lawyer. I have nothing to do with it. This is ridiculous.
Is this how the police behave?
No.
Anyway, Mr. Thornton has been charged with everything but Amelia's murder.
He had to have been involved, right?
Wrong. It was Lisa. Well, she didn't push her, but she did shout at her about all this camgirl stuff before she fell off the roof.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
No, we have to go to the police. You have to tell them everything.
At an unspecified time later, Maisie's dad and his massive forehead are on their way to rehab. Oh, and Max is Daisy's boyfriend. Yeah. And that's the end of the film. So until next time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and check out this other video. Thank you.